Hello, students. Welcome to your English class. I am Mrs. Jenny Shah, and today, students, we are going to do an extension of descriptive writing. But before I teach you how to write a descriptive essay, I'm again going to focus on descriptive writing because this examination I observed quite a few of you have started using it, but there are quite a lot of you who are still not using descriptive writing. So let's understand descriptive writing. Description is what makes the reader a sensory participant in the story. Okay, even if you're not writing a story, an article, or a blog, or a Twitter, or even a message, when you are describing something very well, that is when your reader becomes a participant. And this has been said by Stephen King. Now, descriptive essay is a genre of essay that asks the students to describe something. Whether you have to describe an object, or a person, or a place, or an experience, or an emotion, or a situation. This genre encourages your ability to create a written account of a particular experience. It allows you for a great deal of artistic freedom. And the goal at the end of the descriptive essay or descriptive writing is to paint a picture that is vivid and moving in the mind of the reader. Whenever you are doing description, there are two parts of speech that are particularly important when you're describing. Number one is adjectives, and number two is adverbs. Adjectives are the words that describe or modify a noun, and adverbs are words that describe an action. So, words like blue, beautiful, horrible, understated, or serendipitous, or adverbs like usually, surprisingly, wonderfully, expectedly, or impatiently. These are the words, the adjectives that make your description more effective. Besides adverbs and adjective, description also often requires you to use figurative language. By figurative language, we normally talk about metaphor, simile, or personification. Metaphor is comparison of two items or two things, like the calm lake was a mirror, or the snow is a white blanket. Now, you know the snow is not a white blanket, but you're trying to make an image in the mind of the reader that imagine a white blanket, and that is exactly how the snow looked. All right. Now we talk about simile. Simile is a kind of a metaphor, but you have to use the word like. Okay. So uh, the traffic line was like a snake slithering to the exit. This is a kind of a metaphor. Or you can have something, sorry, this is a kind of a simile. Simile is a kind of a metaphor. Okay. Then you can have something like the students were, no, the rain is falling like cats and dogs. Like over here, you're using a simile. Watching the show was like watching grass grow. That means it was so slow. Understood? So whenever you use like, you're using simile. Then comes personification. Personification means a you're giving something that is non-human a humanic, a human characteristics. Okay, you're giving something non-human, human characteristics like the clock's smiling face or the lightning danced across the sky. Now, lightning was not actually dancing. You are using human characteristic of dancing to describe how the lightning looked in the sky. Okay. The car complained as the key was roughly turned in its ignition. Now, the, the car cannot have feelings to feel it was rough, but you're using this You're giving some emotions or you're giving some characteristics to non human objects. Okay? Rita heard the last piece of pie calling her name. Or you say, that shop is calling me. You know the shop is not calling you, but you're using personification over there. Okay? So remember, you are trying to bring an object or a scene to the life for your reader. And for this, you must want to use unique language, not tired language. Okay, let me give you a few examples. If I said Brian was angry, he started to yell. It's very boring. This is a very familiar language. Let's use something unique. You say, Brian pursed his lips, clenched his fists into tight balls. Try as he might, he could not contain himself, and within minutes he erupted like a volcano. Now, your reader is thoroughly engaged in this piece of writing. They are feeling everything that is happening. So, this is how you use your descriptive language. This is your figurative language. This is your adjectives. This is your adverbs. Everything included over here. Okay? Next one, students. Bailey was happy. Nowadays, lots of students write that. I am happy. It's too boring, students. Let's make it descriptive. A gigantic grin spread across Bailey's face, and her eyes lit up like sky on Diwali. Look at that. Now, that writing, you've got the reader. The reader is able to imagine what you're trying to say. You are painting a vivid picture in the reader's mind here. Bella was shocked. Or you could say, Bella couldn't help herself. Her jaw dropped to the floor and her eyebrows shot towards the ceiling. Now you have made that entire expression in the reader's mind, and the reader can literally imagine Bella there. All right? Boring. She was excited to see her dad. No. When she saw her dad enter the room, she sprinted across the room, jumped into his arms, and buried her head in his chest. Now you have shown the excitement. Instead of telling that she was excited, you have actually shown it without using the word excite. Yes, he felt sad. Or you can describe what's happening. You can say, an ache started deep in his stomach. He turned away as his eyes welled up with tears. The reader will actually feel this. Now it's your turn. So open your notebooks because we have notebook work. All right. So write today's date, write descriptive writing, and begin. You're going to describe this picture in 2 to 3 lines. Okay, if you've not finished, you need to pause and do it because I need to go ahead. Are you done? Pause. Okay. I could hear the footprints getting closer. I was biting my nails in anticipation. You can keep going ahead. The door opened. Closed my eyes tight. I didn't want to see who was around. And then someone hugged me, took me in there. Someone enveloped me in their arms. I opened my eyes slowly to see the lovely green eyes of my mother. You can see where we took the story from here. Students, I need you to describe everything that happens. Last one, students. Describe this picture now. All right. So, if you've not done, you need to pause. Rumpled bedsheet, piled up clothes, and jumbled dresser greeted me as I pushed my way into the room. I didn't know what to do. Should I sit for a little while or should I start cleaning? Looking around, I started to feel dizzy. I knew I really required rest, but, and you could keep going on and on. So, the students, the thing is, you describe what is happening instead of saying the room is messy. Yes, that is descriptive writing. Now it's your notebook work, and I'm going to tell you to write a paragraph of 5 to 7 lines. But I need to give you a challenge because you're all great at description, students. So, what you need to do is you need to describe this entire image without using the words or without saying the words butterfly, rock, or plants. All right. So this Monday, I'm going to start with this. So keep this work ready. You're going to describe this picture without saying butterfly, rock, or plants. Let's see how creative and unique your descriptions can get. While you are doing that, remember in your writing, you must use specific nouns and power verbs like clapping of 1,000 wings broke the silence, something like that. Also, do not go overboard in using your adjectives and adverbs. Imagine that line: the broccoli tasted vile and bitter in my mouth, and I recoiled violently. It's just too much. This becomes very, very garbly and cheesy language. We don't use that, okay? Remember, you're describing through your senses. The bitter sweetness crumpled my mouth and threatened to erupt. Now, that is more calm, okay? And without writing the words see, hear, touch, smell, think, feel, you still are going to make your readers do it. So remember the words that you can't use. You cannot use the words butterfly, rock, and plants, and you cannot use the word see, hear, touch, smell, taste, think, feel. So if you say, I could see the white birds fly upwards and hear the clapping of their wings, you say, I observed the white birds fly upwards and cherished the clapping of their wings. Or you can use the words see, hear, touch, smell, taste, think, feel, but try and use alternative words wherever possible. So make your writing interesting by making the reader sense and connect with everything that you've written. All right, students? So this is the last. I want to see this work that you do, and I'm going to see you all on Monday. Till then, stay home and stay safe. Thank you.